Okay. Thalmor Radio. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Thalmor Radio. Yeah, he's coming at you from the top. Oh no, no, he won't stop. Thalmor Radio. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Thalmor Radio.
Thalmor Radio. Party rockers in the house tonight. What is going on? Actually, I know what's going on. I know a bunch of things going on, and I'm going to talk about them because that's what I'm here to do. And I'm just the cool dude on the block with the nice cock. And I'm going to tell you what to think because I just know it all. So, there was the thread that got posted on the forums Wednesday. It was Wednesday. It got posted. It got posted in the general debate subforum of the OWF, which no one uses. And this one guy, he posted a thread. His name is Byzantine. He has no profile picture because he's a Sigma. And the title of the thread is U.S. Debt In-Depth Look. And this is what he said. First, let's get some things straight. Debt is not a bad thing. This link explains more. But the U.S. debt is completely out of control. Just look at this debt clock. So what are we going to do to fix this? I mean, beyond letting Congress raise the debt ceiling in another month when we come close to hitting our maximum debt again. And I wrote a response. Some of you guys like, yes, Aglet Guyan. That is it. Some of you guys like my essays. And so I responded. It's about 900 words. I put it in Microsoft Word to count it. I did write a much more in-depth response to this thread than I intended. I just linked to my. Read it to me. You won't. You no. You don't want. Okay. Zig, tell me your initial thoughts on Kiwami 2 as I make this poll.
The intro cutscene is too long, but that's been every Yakuza game I've ever played. That's as far as I've gotten. The intro cutscene made me almost want to play and finish Yakuza 1 and just speedrun it. That's all the things I have to say. Today for dinner, I ate pickled fish.
That's good. Okay, I posted in community poll, guys. Should I read my essay on the U.S. debt problem? Let me go ahead and react to it. Okay, now go vote. Do you want me? It's 900 words. It will take a decent while to read it. Uh-oh, the people are split. Well, I will not read it because I think it will be of inconvenience to. I will read it after I close out the show. Actually, maybe I won't. Nope, sorry. If you're that interested in it, you're just gonna have to go read it yourself. Sorry. Now then. But basically, all I say to summarize my essay, we're all the dollar is fucked, but you don't have to be fucked. There is no way to solve the debt problem, but even though it's eventually going to lead to some kind of catastrophic collapse, you can take steps so that when it happens, you can still live just a fine life. And you can do that by learning ways to become self-sufficient. And it can be something as simple as owning a couple silver coins, having some money in crypto, having a marketable skill, being able to grow your own food. Just do two of those things, and you'll be. And have a gun. Zig is completely right. Have a gun and know how to use it. And yet none of these things involve playing politics and war. Well, Agletgine, you're completely right. But that's okay, because we are all here for a good time and not a long time. So there you go. Read my essay if you're into that kind of stuff. We had a bonus show last night. This was something that was brought up Wednesday. It was Zig's idea, and Zig, we talked about a bank heist of sorts that happened, and a few other topics about if it was good for the meta for newbies to just focus on rating. We talked some about Alex's new podcast, Politics and War podcast, God help us, and something else. I don't remember. Actually, I think that was it. Yeah, I think that was it. It was decent. It was me, Justinian, Zig, and Big Morph. Justinian popped out after about 50 minutes because of a home invasion. I do not know if he's alive. Do we know, Zig? Did Justinian ever come back and say hi? Because I left.
Did he? I don't know. Yeah, no, he did.
Okay, that's
He
good.
came back and just said, "Yeah, sorry guys. Someone came over and I didn't feel like it was appropriate to keep talking about politics and war." He didn't mention that that person was homeless and pointed a gun at him. Ooh.
I don't know what's going on, because see, all of the co-hosts for there's 4 co-hosts for Royal Orbis Radio, okay? Me, Zig, Feist, and Justinian. Do you know what all 4 of us have in common? We are all Kentuckian. All 4 of us live in Kentucky. What are the statistical probability of that? We all live in Kentucky. And now, half of us, Zig and Justinian, have had homeless people interrupt them while live on air. What's the statistical odds of that? So guys, I don't know. Will I have a homeless guy interrupt me and take me away from doing the show? Will it happen tonight? I don't know. There's a non-zero chance that a homeless guy or girl will show up and I'll have to kill them. And then I'll be arrested. But hopefully that won't happen. I guess we'll find out. Until then, I just need to live life to the fullest, and that involves doing this show. So I'm going to keep living, and by keep living, I mean I'm going to keep doing this show. Andy Bashir visits Thalmor. I would host Andy. That's fine. I don't particularly like him, but I will. Like, he could be worse. He could be worse. But yeah, we had a bonus show yesterday. I dipped out after an hour last night because I got tired. And I don't think it went much longer after that. But go watch it if you want some bonus content. And with that, I think I am now ready to talk about the politics and war topics. Guys, I don't know what's wrong. Like, I'm kind of back to I just realized something. I'm back to myself tonight. But for the past several weeks, I really haven't been myself. Like, I feel a certain level of energy that I haven't had these past couple of shows. That's weird. I don't know what's going on. But it seems like I'm back to normal now, so that's good. Topic number 1. Left Behind goes to the left and behind. So, I have... unusual for me, I actually possess a somewhat negative opinion of Left Behind. And I don't usually possess negative opinions of a lot of people. And so I'm going to I have something to talk about because Left Behind is resigning from leadership of Cataclysm. And so I now have an opportunity to get something off my chest that I've had on my chest for like 6 months now. And so now let me preface this by saying this is less about Left Behind's actions or lack of action, and more because of my own ego and just apathy. Um, because I could have talked to Left Behind about this, and I just never did. Because I'm not that checked into the community. Like I log in every other day, and I'm trying to grow cities, and I ship post in the Hand of Fate Discord, and I do the shows, and I check the forums a couple times a day. Like I'm involved with the community, but I'm not like actively talking to dozens of people and forming these connections. Like I'm very passive. I'm very active in one way, and I'm very passive in another. And I'm passive in the sense that I don't really reach out and talk to a lot of people. And so, um, again, this is less on Left Behind and more on me. But let's go back to December. Let's go back to December. Actually, maybe it's more February. But there was that incident with Akiro in which she was in this Discord for this other game with Goons members, and one of them, I forgot his name. One of them said, "Has Thalmor been shot yet?" And Akiro's response was to say, "Sadly, no. Sadly, I had not been shot and killed, and presumably killed." And I broke this on my show. First off, because this is my show and it's a thing about me, and so that warrants a discussion. But also because, again, there's ego at play here. But because I don't like out of character stuff, and I don't think that kind of rhetoric is very good. And so I brought some attention to it. And I said on my show that I made a joke out of it, but I did say that I think there should be some action over this because Akiro, at the time this happened, Akira was second in command of what's it called? Children of the Light. Children of the Light. And I'm, of course, the founder of KT. And at that time, KT and Children of the Light were allies. And let's see. Hold on. I lost my train of thought here. And so we ended up splitting with not just Children of the Light, but all of Hedge Money, and we formed Keck with Eclipse in the company. And so a couple months later, actually maybe it's sooner than that, some other time earlier this year, you had Akiro, some Chocolate Castle people, and I think some other randoms here and there. They started to really go after the Syndicate in an out-of-character way by basically saying that the Syndicate were all Nazis. And the basis for this was that the Syndicate was allied to Eclipse, the company, who were allied to KT. And so therefore the Syndicate were Nazis because they were allied to Nazis. And so I know Adam has talked about it quite a bit. And he went very in depth about it a couple months ago, actually. And he lost friends over that, which really he didn't, because if you're a quote friend with someone, you're not going to cut ties with them because some other person says, "Oh, he's a Nazi." Like, you're at least, if you're truly friends with someone and that bothers you, you're going to at least talk to them. So Adam was better off for losing those quote unquote friends, if you ask me, but I digress. And so that was a headache that the syndicates had to spend some time putting the fires out of. And again, Akira was still second in command, and here she is running around like causing trouble, causing out of character trouble, just making an ass of herself. And Nothing came out of it when she said I should be shot. And imagine when Quack was still a thing. Imagine if Theodosius in the Syndicate said that Benfro should be shot. Like, how would that go over? It probably wouldn't go over well. Again, like, it's not like Akiro was a nobody and I was a nobody. Akira was second in command of Children of Light, which was allied to KT, and I am the founder and former leader of KT. Like, this is like, there's weight to the words here with who's involved. But so that nothing ever came of it though when Akira said what she said about me, and then nothing ever came of it when she was joining others and trying to defame the Syndicate as Nazis. So then finally, the third and final incident came in that she created a document in which she tried to expose some people as Nazis. And these people would include Cammy, who is now in House Dark. A second person, I can't remember. They had a shark as a profile picture. Can't remember his name. And the third person, Yami. Thank you, Michael Scott. And the third person was Severgi. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Yami is cool. And so this document exposed these private logs in which they said a bunch of uncouth things. I won't repeat them. You can imagine what they are. And Akiro's in them, also saying some nasty things. And Akiro had said, look, this was months ago. I'm different now. I have different opinions. And, fine. Akira's very interesting because she was once far right and now she's far left. Look, maybe she had an epiphany of sorts. It happens, I suppose. That's fine. And I think she had stated that, like, her creating this document was supposed to be like a form of penance. And so, fine, whatever. And then finally, because of this document, LeftBehind makes a forum thread in which he announces that Akiro is being removed or asked to step down from second in command. And the inference on this is that LeftBehind was okay with Akiro saying, his second in command saying that a relevant member of his ally should be shot and killed in real life. LeftBehind was okay with Akiro calling the Syndicate Nazis and stirring trouble there. But because Akiro was a far-right person 6 months ago, now finally he feels as if he can no longer trust her and is now, like, removing her as second in command. That seems very odd to me. Like, there's some misplaced principles somewhere. Like, but it's not really that, though. Like, what I'm describing is a very surface level inference of, like, it's kind of like saying that O.J. Simpson isn't a murderer, even though he clearly did it. He just got acquitted. Like, LeftBehind really doesn't hold these positions. What I think really happened was that Akira was probably a pretty decent second in command, and there was just no desire to remove her from that position because she still did a good job. Which I guess I think I get it. And then finally, like, okay, it's like, and they probably did tell her behind closed doors after both incidents that, like, she needs to calm her ass down. And so finally the document was like the straw that broke the camel's back. But because of that, because LeftBehind was so okay with Akiro saying what she did about me and then letting her continue her bullshit so much longer, I've kind of resented him some for that. And again, look, is it petty? It probably is. Like I said at the beginning of this tangent, there's some ego at play here. I'm not being fully, like, what I want to say. I'm not being fully like earnest about all this. I'm being a bit narcissistic, but that's something I've had in my mind for a while now. And with Left Behind resigning as lead of Children of the Light, I finally have a reason to bring it up. So I don't know what Left Behind is going to do now. I'm guessing he's going to stay in Cataclysm. He might go elsewhere. Overall, he seems like a fine guy. I haven't talked to him a whole lot, but I can't besides what I've already said, I can't really say anything ill about him. Going to grow internally. Is he Low City? Or is that a meme that's going over my head?
That's a meme going over your head.
That's okay. A lot of things go over my heads, like airplanes. But that's what that is. I think that's all I got to say about that. So, topic number 2. Technology ties to Treasury trouble. We need to what all of you need to do. Who all is here? We got Agla Gwen, Avatar Patrick, Eric Hill, Golden Key, Grave, Hari, Hateby, Hillbilly, Jack Rackham, Judas James, Kekistonia, Killsbob, Leon, Lord Tyrion, Lysander, Matthew 7, Michael, Spooky Scott, Gnome, Nakiwi, Pin Pico, Real, Red Matt, Soup, T-Boy, myself, Datsu, Ultra, Venom Class, Weisel, and Zig. What all of you need to do is you need to gather up all the electronics in your house. You need to put them in a nice pile, and you need to set fire to them, shoot them, however you're listening to this recording, on your phone or computer, you need to destroy it. You need to destroy your phone or your computer because we cannot trust technology anymore. Krampus had a shit ton of money. He got it back, but he lost it. Why? Because of technology. And technology has struck again the other day. This bank or this economic institution, whatever it's called, the almighty corporation, because of failures in technology, they lost all of the shit and they've been scrambling to get it back. And I believe they appealed to Alex, and Alex said, tough luck. So, what had happened is that the Almighty Corporation, I think it's like a bank. I'm not fully sure. And they had a website. If anyone wants to pull up the link to it. They had a website. This website is how members interacted with it. And this one guy, we know his nation. Again, someone else can grab the link to him if they want. He went into the inspect element and he fucked around with it, and he was able to take all of the money out of the bank. And he then dispersed it in 100 million accrements all over the place. And we know who did it. Thank you, Lysander, for posting it. That's who did it. You can look at their bank history. And they're in vacation mode for a year now. Yep, they did change his name. And so that makes 2 times this year in which through tech exploits, someone was able to fuck with the financial institutions and completely fuck them up. So that's pretty cool. I don't know how many times it has to be said, but these private businesses, they're all they're not worth your money. They're scams. They don't have good security. Now, of course, if I ever do start my own bank and or casino, you can trust me. But everyone else, you really can't trust. And there's example after example after example of these things going tits up. Okay, So, look, you want money, you're going to have to optimize your cities, you're going to get the right projects, and you're just going to have to save up and save up and save up. Get another city, save up, save up, save up, get another city. Okay, I'm at city 33. I will probably be able. I just got city 33 days ago. I can probably get city 34 before the year is out. And all I'm doing is just I only have 2,700 infra in all my cities. Okay, I'm not like super massive. I'm a little fat. Anything above 2,000, you're getting a little iffy. But I'm still not at 3 yet. I'm still some decent distance from being at the 3K infra. I'm wide, exactly. I'm not tall, I'm wide. 2,700 infra is not like the worst thing ever. If there was a 3 in there somewhere, we might have a problem, but there isn't. You can't put me on the cross until I'm at 3,000 plus infra. Then you can come to my house with the homeless people in Andy Bashir. But until then, you can't do anything to me. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, these banks are bullshit. These private businesses are bullshit. Stop trusting with your money. If you're ever going to start one, get your fucking security in check. This makes twice now that people have lost billions of dollars because of tech exploits. Come on, guys. Like, hire Borg. You want to fuck around with private business and tech? Talk to Borg. Talk to Borg. He'll help you. Maybe. Probably. Most definitely not for free, but I'm sure you can work something out. All right, and that's it. Final call, politics and war. Anything else I need to go over that I haven't already talked about? Alex is starting a new podcast, and it's not just a podcast; it's a politics and war podcast. He's doing it because it's a form. I think he's trying to do it as a form of advertising the game. It probably won't be successful, but I think it's cool that he's making the effort, and I think it's cool he's also trying to put more effort into the game. I did not listen to the podcast, so I don't know what the asteroid mining thing is about. I've been a part of this community for almost 7 years now, and I have never heard asteroid mining come up as a topic. So I don't know where he got that from. What I think would be cool would be a asteroid hitting Orbis event. And like people have to build and donate nuclear weapons to like blow apart the asteroid. I think that would be cool. And like if people don't stop the asteroid, then it hits and like people lose like all their infra and like a bunch of land and improvements and stuff. Like of course not like permanent damage, but like it sets everyone back just hundreds of billions of dollars. Or like make it so that like the asteroid is aiming for certain alliances, and like alliances can donate their nukes to the anti-asteroid rocket and like in a way like aim the asteroid towards other alliances. I think that would be funny. I think you could start some bullshit with that. But or yeah, if the asteroid hits Orbis, like it deletes Lampus's nation, that would be cool. That would be cool. Lampus takes one for the team. All right, I think that's it. So I think that's it for the game. Nothing else happened. When does the nap end? I don't know about that one. Hold on, before I start talking about real life nonsense. The 18th. Okay. I don't think there will be a war this year. Not with the nap ending on the 18th. By the time the nap ends, people are going to be busy with the holidays and no one's going to want to do it. Maybe in January you'll have something. Maybe the nap will end, the holidays will be over, and then sometime in January people will be like, what can we do up in this bitch now that it's 2022? Like, I think that might be possible, but I mean, yeah, when the nap ends, it'll be a week away from Christmas. No one will be thinking about, yeah, nothing's going to happen. No more war this year. That is my prediction. No more war this year. You might have something in January. Much better chance something in February. And if we don't get a war until March, then you can beat me up in real life. But that's my prediction. Nothing for the rest of this year. Probably something in January. Probably something in February. And if we hit March 1st, the asteroid can hit my nation instead and delete it. All right, there we go. If you like my politics and war stuff, now's the time to leave. Now I'm going to talk about dumb real life politics stuff. Thank you for coming. Have a good night. I love you. Mwah. So, the Kyle Rittenhouse trial ended today, and the jury returned a verdict of not guilty. And that is pretty good. And I watched it live. If you go to High Musings, I did a ping in which I said the verdict was about to be read. And there's the relief, because I'm on Team Kyle, obviously, and there was the relief of him getting acquitted and the joy with that, but then there was a hint of like anger because this shouldn't have even been a case to begin with. And if you've been listening to me for a while, you know that I I kind of hate the government. I don't like cops. I don't like prosecutors. And, this case was a good example of why I feel that way. Because this should have been a case. The prosecutors, Binger and Cross, they just wanted a good show trial to further their careers. It's just ridiculous. And so, and even after the acquittal, I posted in the Season Coke chat, you had Bill de Blasio on Twitter saying how like Kyle was a white supremacist and like it was bad this verdict came out this way, and it's just ridiculous. The narrative from the media is that Kyle was a white supremacist who drove across state lines with a assault rifle. He went to Kenosha where peaceful Black Lives Matter protests were happening, and he just fired into the crowd. And that is like not what happened at all. He his mom didn't drive him. The gun was already in Kenosha. The gun charge got dismissed Monday because there were no grounds for it. Rosenbaum threatened to kill Kyle. Rosenbaum charged Kyle. Kyle tried to get away. Kyle got cornered. He opened fire. Like, it was self-defense all the way through. Like, I mean, I follow the trial closely for 2 weeks, and I learned things that I didn't know. And within the scope of the law, I don't know how anyone could come to anything else other than that it was self-defense. Yeah, Rosenbaum grabbed the rifle. He was going for the gun. If he was charged with manslaughter, he might have been convicted. Well, manslaughter is like accidental death. And I don't think those charges would have sticked either. And so, I mean, you can use like Jack said Roosevelt also grabbed his rifle. Gage had a gun. Last guy had a skateboard. But you can still use deadly force in self-defense against an unarmed person. Like, what are you going to argue that the 19-year-old housewife stuck in an abusive relation can't use her firearm against her 22-year-old unarmed MMA fighter abusive husband? Like, obviously she whatever. And yeah, skateboards are dangerous. I'd be surprised the judges run for office write a book about the case or something. I don't think the judge hated the media attention. He was whining about it all throughout the trial. The jurors they're going to have a book deal in front of them, and so will Kyle. And I hope Kyle does write a book, because his life is going to be really hard for a while. I mean, half the country likes him, the other half hates him. And so he has a lot of opportunities have been taken from him, but a lot of other opportunities are available to him. So he's going to have a very unique life going forward. So we'll see what happens. Only if all other avenues of alternate defense are exhausted, lethal force may be allowed. And Wisconsin, Wisconsin doesn't have a duty to retreat anyways. So in theory, Kyle didn't even have to run away from Rosenbaum, but he did anyways. So I don't really know. Like, this attorney I mentioned before, Bruce Rivers on YouTube. He explained that in a combative situation, whoever closes the distance is the aggressor, and that makes sense. So yeah, Avatar Patrick, MSNBC got banned because it was an MSNBC reporter who was following the jury bus. It wasn't just like the judge being a conservatard. Like, there was a reason for it. Let me keep up with the chat real quick here. Does the judge have the ability to bend the media from its court if he wanted? I think to an extent. They pressed charges against MSNBC or something, didn't they? I do not believe they did. Clothing is also fleeing, escaping. Well, I'm talking about the aggressor, Kyrgyzstanian, which is what Rosenbaum did. Not Kyle. Kyle tried to get away, and that helped his defense. Sorry for the day. I'm just thinking. Is there anything else I want to add? But I'm happy Kyle got acquitted. If the criminal justice system is designed, going back to what I was talking about before the show, I don't know if it's on recording or not, but there's career criminals like Tekashi 6ix9ine, and those are the type of people that the criminal justice system was created for. And the criminal justice system itself, and I've seen it firsthand, the system itself is part of the punishment. because it is so expensive and it is so stressful that even if you are acquitted, you're still so damn like your life is still completely different. Like Kyle was able to fundraise millions of dollars, but most people who get caught up in the system cannot. And you know, when the verdict got read, Kyle collapsed because just the emotions were so high, and it's just all this weight got taken off of him. And where was I going with this? I don't even. Hold on. I'm sorry, guys. I was saying something, but I don't remember what my end point was going to be. Besides, shit's rough. Don't get caught up in the criminal justice system in which you're looking at decades in prison. It's one thing if you get in trouble with a misdemeanor and you can just plea out and do some community service. It's another thing if you get charged with a felony and you're looking at up to 10 years in like a state court. You get 7 years and then you're out on probation in 3. It's another thing to get charged with some kind of federal crime in which you're looking at like 20 years. You get sentenced to 15, but the federal system doesn't have parole. So if you get sentenced to 15 years, you're serving at least 85% of that before you can get out. And then it's another thing to be caught in the federal system and to be looking at a life sentence, which Kyle wasn't looking at. Kyle was charged in state court, so that's a bit different. But like when you're looking at decades in prison, your life is over. Life in prison, your life is over. But decades in prison, it's like go to prison for 20 years, especially if you're older. It's okay. Like take Zig is like about 30 years old. Which no, Zig's not a good example. Take a married 28-year-old man who works as a middle manager in a marketing company. And then throw him in prison for 20 years. What happens to him? Is his wife going to stay married to him? Maybe for a couple years, but eventually she's going to want to what if she doesn't have kids? Well, she's definitely not going to stay married to him, right? Because she might want kids of her own eventually. What if they do have kids? What if they have like an infant son? Well, that man is going to miss out on his kid's childhood. He's going to lose his job. His grandparents or even parents might die on the outside and he will miss their funeral. Like he loses everything. It's over. He's not going to die in prison, but he'll be in his late 40s or maybe mid 40s when he gets out. He has this massive gap in his resume. If it was, he can't leave the country, he can't own a firearm, he can't vote. What does life look like? And he's almost 50, so his health's going to be failing, or getting to a point where it will begin to start failing. Like how do you start to build a life for yourself when you're almost 50? What are your options? Go to school? Are you going to go back to college? So. Oh, I remember what I was getting at. The process of going to trial and such like that. I think it's like Kyle Rittenhouse had already been in prison for so many months, and he had to deal with the stress of knowing that there was a good chance that he'd be going to prison for the rest of his life. And that's all I guarantee you, I've heard from people who were in a similar situation, people who didn't do anything wrong, but were still looking at life in prison. And let me tell you, until they go to trial, day in, day out, all day, that's all they're thinking about. They're thinking about every detail of their case. They're thinking about anything that could help them. They're thinking about what prison would be like. They're thinking about how they could get out. They're second guessing if they have the right attorney. They're thinking about what they want to do until they go to trial. Like it's all they think about. It's all they talk about, and they are just miserable to be around. And you know, it that limbo between your indictment and your trial, that's part of this. Like that should be part of the punishment itself, because it is so stressful, it is so hard. So if Kyle Rittenhouse did do anything wrong, I think the suffering he's had for over a year, panicking about spending the rest of his life in prison, I think he's made up for it now. I think he's made up for it now. So I think that's all I got to say. I hope he can go on. I want to say I hope he can live a normal life. I don't think he can, at least not for a while. But I hope he can. I'm sure he will. He's got people who loves him. There's a number of powerful people who are sympathetic to him. I think he can carve out a decent life. But he's going to have certain challenges, and certain things will be bumpy, and I hope he does well, because I don't think he's a bad kid. And I think that's all I got to say about that. That was all I really prepared for real life topics. Did anything else happen? Austria instituted a stay-at-home mandate for unvaccinated people, and they have since expanded it days later to include now the vaccinated. So Austria, the European country, is having a lockdown. Kamala Harris was president for like 90 minutes today because Joe Biden was having a colonoscopy. And so Kamala Harris became president for a little bit today. So that's cool. I think that's about it. Did anything else happen? Yeah, no one likes Kamala Harris. Like the Republicans don't like her because she has a D after her name. But like even the you either hate Kamala Harris or you just don't care about her. Like even in the Democratic primary, she got almost none of the votes. No one liked her, and she is unlikable. Hillary Clinton has a problem of being unlikable. Kamala Harris is about 7 times more unlikable. She is just, her mannerisms are weird. Her manner of speaking, like, I don't know. I hope she becomes president. I hope Kamala Harris becomes president because everyone dislikes her, and her becoming president will further delegitimize the federal government. And the more people who can resent and have contempt for the government, the better, in my opinion. So I hope Kamala Harris, and it will be funny. It'll be fun. Can you imagine Kamala Harris giving a press conference about, like, I don't know, like a United States submarine goes, God forbid, a United States submarine goes down because of some horrific mechanical accident and like 150 sailors like drown, right? Like, can you imagine Kamala Harris giving a press statement about it? She'd be like, she would probably start cackling halfway through because of nervous energy. It would be terrible. It would be awful. But we'll see what happens, I guess. I'm anti-government in general, hillbilly. I'm an anarchist. What Tatsu is saying. Not because depending on her presidency she triggers the right. Well, I mean, even outside of like, yeah, she is triggering to the right. Sure. It was also funny how Trump triggered the left, but we won't get into that because talking about Trump is annoying. I don't know. As the years went on, I'm not going to talk about Trump. I talk about enough crazy stuff. I don't want to introduce any more crazy stuff. Trump is funny. His press statements are funny. I like reading them. That's all I'll say about him. They picked the the political mechanism. The Biden is a corporate Democrat. He was center left. Putting Kamala Harris as VP was to appease the woke Democrats. That's what all that was about. Is Kamala Harris the most confident vice president? No. In fact, I've seen reports this past week about how Kamala Harris is having trouble in the White House. Like CNN had an article, I think, like no one likes Kamala Harris. No one likes Kamala Harris. Tell us about chemtrails. I don't have anything to say about chemtrails. Tell us about aliens. They shut up. You know what? They shut up about aliens. Last year, there was a lot of stuff coming out about aliens and UFOs, and now there's been nothing this year. That topic kind of died off. So we'll see what happens with that. Can the Senate replace her out of curiosity? If the Senate can, it's through a process that I have no knowledge of. Kamala apparently made everyone forget Biden was a big segregationist. Well, like the people that would care about Biden being a segregationist. Wait a minute, no, that is right. Kamala Harris criticized Joe Biden. But that's how dirty these politics are, though. Kamala Harris, during the primaries, will talk about how Biden is an evil segregationist, but will then still happily accept his nomination for vice president. Like, just these people are evil. Like, pretty much all of them. They're all evil, and that's all I can really say. They're liars, they're evil, they're selfish, they're crazy, just they're incompetent. They're good at getting reelected, and that's about it. Who or whom is running by the administration? Probably just Democratic Party decision makers, I guess. I don't think Biden is really that much of a driver. I mean, I don't know if he's really that helpless, but I don't know how. Today it was interesting when the Rittenhouse verdict got read. Biden was asked about it on like the front lawn of the White House, and he said that he respected what the jury ruled, which actually made it sound like Biden was pro Kyle or at least neutral, which is kind of weird, but okay. But then a couple of hours later, there was a press statement that was put out by the White House in which they were like, "Oh, we condemn white supremacy," and it's like, okay, well, what is Biden's real position? Is it this seemingly like anti-Kyle but not too crazy press statement, or is it this neutral Biden that's like whatever the jury says, is what the jury says? And I think it's the off the cuff reporter front lawn Biden. Um, I don't know. Biden has his infinite. I wonder what they give him because I know in so many of his speeches he has like trouble talking, but like during the debates last year, like he I've seen him be able to really hit it, you know. So I don't know if they hook him up on a bunch of Adderall or what they do. I don't know what the CIA has in their underground Rocky Mountain like secret base, but it must be some pretty good stuff. I wish I could get my hands on it. I wish I could shoot it up. Okay, whatever Biden drug they give him, they need to give me a vial of it so I can do one of these shows on it. You might really see some shit then. Um, I think it's it. What happened overseas that was interesting? I can't think of anything. Nope, I think that's it. If I don't call real life any final topics, I need to give my hot takes on. Australia's been going through shit for a while. It's fucking crazy ass country right now. Yeah, Ghislaine Maxwell is on trial. No one's talking about it. Maybe they will. Well, it was easy to talk about the Kyle Rittenhouse trial because it had all the cameras and it was being live streamed. The Ghislaine Maxwell trial, that's a lot of there's probably a lot of sneaky shit going on with that. I'm talking about mainstream people, Jack, not regular people. I'm talking about the media, independent journalists. Hopefully, now with the Kyle Rittenhouse trial over and done with, some more people will talk about Ghislaine Maxwell. I want to know. I should look that up real quick when I'm done tonight. Actually, see what's going on with all that. There's the I can't fucking pronounce Ahmaud Arbery. There's that trial going on. It seems as if it's going real bad for the defense, so they're probably going to get convicted. Yep, that's the Georgia one. That's who. I think that's it. Oh, is there any riots going on? There's supposed to be protests tonight, but number one, it's cold. Number two, the Democrats are in power, and it's not an election year. So I think a lot of the institutional support that the riots would have had, like, not there. So there might not be any riots. But I think riots are really like fun to watch. So it'd be cool if there was some riots, maybe, but probably won't happen. That's funny, that's too. Oh, you know what's really fucking funny? One of the people that Kyle shot, his name was Anthony Huber, I think. And Huber's girlfriend, supposedly, I don't know if this has been confirmed, supposedly today when Kyle was walking out, slipped him a paper with her phone number on it and said to the media that she feels sympathy for him. So, like, Kyle not just got the acquittal, he's probably also got the girl. And that's really funny. Because there is no more of a Chad thing to do than to kill a guy, walk from it, and then be able to date his girl. Like, you can't really come up on top any better than that. Oh, Tim Pool interviewed her? I need to watch that. What I need to watch is Tim Pool had Michael Malice, Joe Rogan, and Alex Jones on earlier this week. I need to watch that. That's on my back burner. I will watch that probably Monday actually, because I'm busy this weekend. I don't like Tim Pool for himself, but I like some of the guests he has. Like I like it when he has Alex Jones and or Michael Malice on. It's also funny. They also had Blair White on, but Blair White, she's like the least assertive of the bunch. So like how when you have Joe Rogan and Alex Jones in a room, which you all know who they are, but then Michael Malice, which I think fewer of you know who he is. Like that's three really strong personalities. And then you have Tim Pool as the host trying to wrangle them. Like, how do you compete with that? You really can't. So I don't listen to Blair White. I don't really care what she has to say. I mean, she's okay, I guess, but yeah, I agree with that too. She's just okay. Um, I think that's it. I think I'm done. Um, Tim Pool is a dim fool. And with that, I think we're done. I'll do one more. Final call for anything. Any topic, real life, the game, just a question you want to ask me. Anything else before I close out the show tonight? Because if there isn't, then I'm pretty much done. Good job, Kills Bob. Good job. Whose dance emote is your favorite? I don't know. I'd have to look. I think I like James is the best. James has like the fat, short, white blob thing doing a little shuffle. It's cute. I think that's my favorite. Which this is my favorite emoji though. I really love blob dance because it's cute and colorful. That's blob dance is my favorite overall. All right, I'm done. Um, what's your name? Why am I asking Kills Bob what his name is? I know what his name is. Kills Bob, play the theme, and when the theme is done, end the recording. Have a good weekend.
Thalmor Radio. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Thalmor Radio. Yeah, he's coming at you from the top. Oh no, no, he won't stop. Thalmor Radio. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Thalmor Radio.
Thalmor Radio.
Good night.